Riding with the guru. Man, you know what I got. 0% love, 113% truth. Ain't nobody. Get it how I live. I don't fuck with nobody, but if you know about right, get it how you got it.
Allow me to introduce myself. It's Mr. Flag on the left, smoking a bag of the death. Just sold a bag of the milk. Keep extra mags on the shelf. And I don't wanna brag on myself, but if I got a bad bitch with me, she gon' pass on the left. It's first, ass last. Yeah, you already know the name. That nigga there with that Ruger. Yeah, that's my brother Fame. I guess you know how the rest go. Best to come about that change for your nose and your forehead. Somehow get rearranged. See, I don't want none of that drama, but I put it on my mama. If you make the wrong move, won't be no question marks or commas. Saw the niggas with away when I was gone behind the walls. That's why I stay in prayer when I got to work in my drawers. I don't wanna go. That's why I grip a cock so old. I ain't no ordinary Joe. This ain't no ordinary Joe. My sister shit this shit from Cali. So you already know this ain't no ordinary pistol. This gon' shoot through it though. It's Mr. Who, it's Mr. Friday. Came home feel like man, fuck everybody. Keeping it G like got it, pockets looking naughty. And keep a couple exotic freaks when I'm spotty. It's Friday, this assy man. I done been around the world, so if you tend to dick, you probably shouldn't bring me around your girl. I done been oriental, let the leg up in the rental. I done fucked the Turkish kids for a minute, I hope it acting mental. See, to me, this shit is simple. It's just between the temples. What? Just don't be no sucker for no pussy ass and dimples. You simple, and I'm pimping. I've been doing it since 99. I stay up on the grind, get your money on your mind. Eat this, bitch.
What it was, y'all. Y'all know who it is. And if not, man, I ain't gonna tell you again. And y'all tuned in with priceless knowledge itself. And this right here, this ain't nothing but some cosmic insight, baby. And look, man, that was a young 18-year-old me snapping on the microphone like I used to when I did that type of thing. Hey, man, I hope everybody feeling good. I hope everybody vibing, because it's time to get back to the money. And I did a little something different today because I want to do a little something different. And sometimes doing a little something different, it pays off, especially if you these folks here. Because this right here, there's a little something about those people that have their part of fortune in Aquarius in their natal chart. Yeah. And see, before we go there, what I'm actually going to do first, you know, if you don't know my style, is I'm going to give y'all a little bit about the part of fortune. I'm going to tell y'all a little bit about the calculations of it and how you get to it. You know, I'm going to tell y'all a little bit about the energy behind it and how it might affect you. Then after that, I'm going to give y'all a little bit about the sign of Aquarius, you know, and the energy about that and how it might affect you. Then after that, we're going to bring it to a culmination. Okay. So without wasting any more time, man, let's get it cracking. So in astrology, the part of fortune, or fortuna, as it's called by a lot of us, man, it's the most popular and well known of all the Arabic parts. And what Arabic parts are, there are points or sensitive points in a chart. Let me say that, whereby, you know, you get to it by adding two celestial bodies together and then subtracting another celestial body or point from that. You know, and, you know, when we're talking about the part of fortune, it's going to differ in day charts and night charts. So this is going to be our first introduction to speaking on what day charts and night charts are. Okay. And for instance, if you have a day chart, that means that your sun is in the houses between 7 and 12 or above the horizon on your chart. Or if you have a night chart, that means your sun is in houses 1 through 6 or below the horizon in your zodiac chart. And also understand that I have a day chart because I have my sun in the 9th house. So that'll help you. And when we're calculating the part of fortune in the day chart, you're going to get to it by adding up the ascendant plus the moon. Then you're going to subtract the sun. And if you want to get to the part of fortune in a night chart, you're going to add up the the ascendant plus the sun. Then you're going to subtract the moon. Okay. So remember that. And what the part of fortune really is it represents worldly success, man. And that could pertain to our physical health, pardon me, or, any potentially prosperous careers that we have or events that we might, be involved in. So in essence, it really is aptly named because it really does, by house and sign point to our innate abilities and our most gifted areas of life where these qualities are really expressed naturally and, pretty much effortlessly. And in doing so, abundance is brought to us. So the cool thing is, like, a lot of people get away trying to do something else, but all you have to do is be you and express your natural gifts, and boom, you on point. And you also got to understand that the part of fortune is going to be the same distance in longitude from the ascendant as the moon is from the sun, and the condition and the placement of whatever planet that rules the sign that rules your part of fortune, that's going to play a significant role in your life and in how you get this money too. Understand? For instance, I have my part of fortune in Gemini in the 9th house. Okay. But the funny thing is, that means Mercury rules my part of fortune. I have Mercury in Leo in the 10th house. Look where we at. Look what I do for a living, y'all. Ain't that beautiful? Pay attention, man. Let me tell you something about astrology, man. Especially when you're talking about these Arabic parts, when you're talking about the Black Moon Lilith. Damn. When you're talking about these Arabic parts, when you're talking about the Black Moon Lilith, when you're talking about the North and the South Node, Rahu and Ketu, man, these are not actual celestial bodies. These are points. These are calculations. You understand? So all they are is coordinates. Coordinates are what? Numbers. If you put a whole bunch of numbers in a line, you get an equation or an algorithm. So this is just another indicator that astrology is really just the algorithm of your existence written out in the stars. You feel me? Real spit, man. Real spit. And let me also tell y'all that the Arabic part, the part of spirit, is going to be calculated in the exact opposite way that you calculate your part of fortune. And the part of spirit, it represents, kind of the exact opposite of the part of fortune, which isn't going to mean taking away your money. It's going to mean, spiritual nourishment, spiritual well-being, what brings you the most, awesome spiritual gifts that you could have. And just because you calculate it in the opposite manner doesn't mean you're going to get the opposite point. So understand, this is not necessarily going to be an axis like the North and the South Node. You could change one number in an equation and it could flip the whole thing around. Or you could just change the way you do an equation and you could still get the same result. There's no telling how it's going to come out, okay? So just understand that. That's why I say this is an algorithm. You change one number of an algorithm and you ain't going to get to where you're trying to go. Think about it. Think about it. And, I also want you to understand that the part of fortune, it really shows you what brings you the most joy on this plane of existence in this physical world. You feel me? And so when we're talking about the sign of Aquarius, Aquarius is the 11th sign of the zodiac. It rules over the 11th house, and it's ruled by both Saturn and Uranus, and it rules over the shins. Its mantra is I know. Its symbol is the water bear, and hey, this is fixed air, y'all, for real. And Aquarius energy for me is all about social conscience and individuality, and Aquarius energy is really tasked to make the world a better place by being extremely visionary and pioneering and engaging others in the process too, because Aquarius energy is about friendship too. I think a lot of people get away from that, okay? And wherever Aquarius shows up in the chart, it's gonna stand out and lead the way to a better tomorrow through quantum leaps, okay? You don't want to take baby steps. And it's about quirky authenticity, electric energy, and exploring new ways to advance the world to a brighter tomorrow. Yeah, and being the water bear, Aquarius is all about, putting your feelings to the side and actually getting something done. And that's why in Vedic astrology, whether a lot of people care to admit or not, Aquarius is known as the higher self of Pisces. I think it's like the much of the coin, that's what you would call it, but it's the higher self of Pisces. And so when we're talking about putting a part of fortune in Aquarius, well, for those of y'all that haven't got the memo yet, or for those of y'all that ain't up on game and just kind of behind us, man. Aquarius energy is, different. It's just different. So when it comes to these folks here, man, when we talk about putting their fortuna here, there's going to be something unconventional, something unorthodox, and probably something ingenious about them that, probably makes them successful, or at least gives them a sense of fulfillment here on this plane right here. You understand me? They're the type of people who really feel happy noticing all the things that surround them and then being receptive to all knowledge, man. They want to know everything that there is to know about humanity and the universe without any bullshit ass societal limitations or restrictions, because these are also the type of people that inherently understand all the connections between so many different things and all the different levels too. And in doing that, they also understand that, none is better or none is worse just because of what makes them unique or what makes them different. They're just doing their part. Even if you're higher up on the food chain or in the chain of command, that don't make you better. You're just doing your part. Okay. And they just kind of understand that, man. They understand that about everything, man. So that right there also makes them really fair-minded people who, really don't like to jump to conclusions, because in jumping to conclusions, that right there would undermine their own sense of freedom. And that, my friend, that's completely unacceptable to anybody that has any prominent Aquarius placements. And you should know that if you know somebody that does. Real talk, man. So because of that, they're going to also be the type that would rather kind of remain aloof and unattached and impartial and unemotional with respect to other folks, and being able to do that. Lo and behold, they're able to, really take the time to access their own inner awakening and see what's going on and tap into their brilliance. Thing is, they really have a truly unique perspective, man. And although they can be very, very in tune with the trends and, 8 times out of 10, they're also going to be probably one of the most intelligent people that if not the most intelligent person unless you know me. You know what I'm saying? There's still going to be something about them that's always going to just naturally go against the grain. You feel me? They're just going to naturally, gravitate, towards going a different way than everybody else, because they don't accept nothing at face value. Whatever their other placements in their chart, these are people that don't accept nothing at face value at all, man. And that they also, are very out of the box thinkers. And that's because they often find that their own personal approach to problem solving, it usually works out way better for them than, doing the same shit that everybody else did in the first place, man. And in my opinion, when I see somebody that has their part of fortune in Aquarius in their chart, the first thing that's telling me that they were placed here for the purpose of discovering new ways of accomplishing things that people were having trouble with before. Is that real, man? And really, likewise, people with this placement, they're also usually extremely drawn to everything new and unique. And their greatest joy in this world actually just comes from acquiring knowledge and then helping other folks with that knowledge that they've acquired. Hey, and these are also the type of people that just, they love to know something you don't know. Does that mean secrets? No, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about that Scorpio stuff. These are the type of people who just like being smarter than you. And could they be a little arrogant with that? Yes. If you ever never ran into an extremely bright, an Aquarius person, they don't have a problem rubbing that in your face at all. And hey, and they get frustrated with people that ain't able to keep up with them, man. And let me tell you that if you're watching this and you have your part of fortune in the water bear, pardon me, I'm telling you now that whether you're aware of it or not, you are extremely receptive and tuned in to that, divine spark, man. And, those brilliant ideas that you be having all the dang time, man, they're absolutely to not be dismissed, man. Do never dismiss that, because then you're just killing your purpose and denying your abundance. I'm telling you, man. Now, you've been blessed to be able to see things from such a unique perspective because you're here to offer such original solutions. Think about that, man. And to even simplify it even more, man, let me tell y'all that, you know, when I see an Aquarius Fortuna, man, it can indicate that maybe their friends or, you know, groups or networks could really help set them up for success. Okay. Never forget that that's about friendship here. Or they could be themselves the type of person that really just enjoys helping, which that pays off too. And huge dividends. Okay. And not only that, you know, this could also suggest, you know, a whole bunch of talent for all things technical and all things scientific and electrical and engineering and all those type of things. But, you know, it could also suggest, you know, amazing networking skills, you know, somebody with capital connections that knows how to, you know, put the right people in the right positions to get some major things accomplished. Not necessarily like Libra energy where it's just a social butterfly that knows how to work the room and all this, you know. I'm talking about somebody that, you know, says, hey, I see a vision for you and your vision ties in for my vision. So let's be friends. You know, that's what the Aquarius energy is all about. You know, it's less sociable and more profitable, you know, because don't ever forget the 11th house is also about gains. Understand that. And, you know, let me also say that this could be a powerhouse placement for astrologers. Yeah. Because they understand all the connections that everything makes between all the different levels and why it's there. You understand that, man? You know, all kinds of stuff. And maybe, you know, it just means that they're here to do something different and something new and, you know, something original altogether, man. It can mean all different things, man. And you really just got to look at the sign placement of this too. I mean, the house placement of this too. And that'll tell a lot more of a story, man. And I also want you to look at it like this, man. Understand that, you know, through Leo, which is the sign opposite of their part of fortune in Aquarius, man, you know, through Leo, they really observe how other folks kind of, you know, try to take charge of situations while also trying in vain to you know, have control over circumstances and also maintain, you know, those certain principles that, you know, give them that certain sense of self-respect, whether that's true or not. And, you know, they're able to see that, they feel that, but they also know, you know, through the water bearer's energy that those things, along with power, have all been abused in today's world. So in being able and having to deal with both of those things, this is a really interesting paradox. It really is. Because it's their love for truth and, you know, having that without limiting the spontaneous flow of life that really drives them towards their treasure. And, you know, these are the type of people that are just really able to flow easily through difficult situations and then ultimately prosper because they have that awesome ability to understand how circumstances have got to whichever state that they're in right there. Okay. And, you know, so in essence, you know, there really ain't nothing in the world that ever surprises them, man, which is freaking awesome, man. That's freaking awesome. They're always on point. They're always on point because they're the type that, you know, they're like, man, I told you 6 months ago that this was going to happen. I'm prepared to deal with it, but we shouldn't even be having to deal with it. You feel me? That's what you have to deal with. I know this, man. I know this for a fact, you know, and, you know, let me also say that this is in being somebody that's always on point. What I mean by that is this is somebody that always has their eyes on the horizon. They're always got their head on a swivel, ready for whatever's coming their way, man. And, you know, they also know that there's a better future, you know, coming, man. And they just need to make sure that they themselves don't get too caught up in worrying on how it's going to get achieved and just try to simply put some trust that it'll be resolved, you know, at just the right time, you know, in the best possible way. Okay. And when they can just learn to accept themselves as being brilliant as they are and even being prophetic, because that's the truth of their existence, you know, then they'll be able to accept their abundance. But hey, even if it don't play out like that, just because you built like that, you don't have to build like that. If you don't want to get this money, you can deny this shit, man. Real talk. You say, man, I don't believe anything he just told me, and you can leave it alone. Okay, it's that simple because we all have all this energy available to us in our charts. What you do with it is what you do with it, and even beyond that, it's not about what you do; it's about how you do it. And that's some priceless knowledge in itself. And there's been some priceless knowledge of self, man. Hey, I appreciate all the love and support. This would be that time, man. If you ain't hit that like button yet, then you're out of line. You need to be hitting it now. If you made it this far and you ain't hit the dislike button, if you made it this far, hit that like button. Or you disrespecting me. Share this month. Subscribe if you haven't yet, man. If you're interested in the astrological readings whatsoever, or any merch, you can either hit me up in the comments below, or you can email me at mr.turner1300@gmail.com. And I have to tell y'all the truth in full disclosure. I could sell you all the merch, and I want to. But you could put on the hat, you could buy you a hoodie, you could go, hustle hard, get you some change, You could shave your hair. You could do whatever it takes. Get tatted. But you'll probably never be this fly. Because this type of swag, it's got to be in you and not on you. Okay? If you're interested in donating to the cause, man, you can see the link in the description below. Y'all keep it trio.